today we're switching things up. Hey friends, and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Holly. I love talking about how to live a better life by living with more intention. And for me, that means embracing budgeting, minimalism, and living more eco-intentionally. So today I'm going to be reverse meal planning. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know I am a huge meal planner. And I feel that meal prepping and meal planning is one of the biggest ways I got myself and my family out of 6 figures worth of debt. So 80 to 85% of the time I do normal meal planning. And basically for me, what that means is doing all the planning before you hit the grocery store. However, a few times a year, I do something called reverse meal planning. And this means you already have the food and then meal plan from that. So 2 times I do this is 1, if we have a party or if there's a holiday where there is a lot of leftovers. If that's the case, then I plan my meals from what we have left over. And then also, once in a while, I do big stock up hauls at stores I normally don't go to. And when I go there, I don't necessarily go with a meal plan. I go with different foods I know I want to get, but then I meal plan after I come back home, after I see what I get. So this week I did a big quarantine stock up haul, meaning I get food for about 3 weeks. Now, when I go to the store, I do have an idea of what I want to get, but right now there are so many shelves empty in our stores and I don't know exactly what I'm going to be able to come back with, so I have to do reverse meal planning. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And if you're interested in seeing my traditional meal planning or how I meal plan after a party, go ahead, comment below and let me know which one you want to see. Now, before I get into the reverse meal planning, I am going to show you exactly how we prepped for the actual grocery haul. So like I said earlier, if you're reverse meal planning, basically what that means is you're getting the groceries before you start meal planning, or you already have the groceries, like if you had a party or something like that. You already have food and you want to plan what meals you can make from that. So when I went grocery shopping earlier this week, I had a basic list. I mean, I've been grocery shopping for myself for 18 years, so I have a good idea of the things I like to eat. I've been married to my husband for almost 6 years. I have a good idea of what he likes to eat. So we hit the grocery store and try to get as much as we can. Also kind of keeping in mind that we are shopping for 3 weeks, things need to be shelf stable, and most of what we get has to last for a good amount of time. So when we went, there were definitely things that I wanted to get that we weren't able to get. So we got what we could, and then when I came home, I made this list of what we have. Now, I kind of categorized it by what makes sense to me. You can see these different categories. And honestly, like on a normal basis, I probably wouldn't write every single one of these things on the list, but just for visual sake, so you kind of get the idea, you just take an inventory of everything you have in your pantry, fridge, and freezer, and then again, just organize it in whatever way makes sense for you. Next, what I'm gonna do is make 4 different lists of food: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. Now, honestly, the main thing I'm really focusing on is dinners, because I feel like lunch, breakfast, and snacks we can easily figure out. So I will be focusing most on dinner. But I'm gonna go ahead, write a list of all the things I can kind of think of off the top of my head, maybe things we make all the time, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I have 17 dinner meals here. And as I said, that's what I mainly wanted to focus on. I'm okay with that. It's not 3 weeks worth, but we're definitely going to have leftovers for a lot of these because I tend to make bigger meals, and I think this list is great. Definitely big enough. And if I want to do something, try something new or something fancy, whatever, on a weekend when we have more time, then I can do that. I also added freezer meals onto this list. I forgot to do that. I do want to make some breakfast burritos. And also, anytime we make pancakes, we always at least double the recipe so we can go ahead and put some in the freezers for lunch or breakfast. So what makes this reverse meal planning different is that I'm not just planning for 1 week. Normally, if I reverse meal plan, so either after a party or after like a normal big stock up, then I only have to worry about the week ahead. However, for this reverse meal planning, I have to worry about the next 3 weeks, which means I have to strategically place meals on the calendar in the order in which the food's going to go bad, which means we're going to have more of the fresh produce towards the beginning of these next 3 weeks, and then have more of the frozen or canned vegetables and produce towards the end of this particular meal plan. Now, normally when I do my meal planning, I put it directly into my bullet journal. I use it for my to-do list, my calendar, my meal planning, my workout plan, everything. But I do have some information that I don't want to share, so for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and just have a printed off monthly calendar so I can show you how I'm going to input the different meals on the calendar in an order that is going to make sure we have as little food waste as possible, meaning we're using foods before they go bad. And yeah, let's get to it. Okay, I have my calendar printed off, but maybe you have a meal planner, you have a meal planning print off, maybe you write it on a board in your home, on a whiteboard, on a chalkboard, wherever you like to put your food. Go ahead, get that out. And I'm gonna walk you exactly kind of through my thought process. I'll put the camera on the paper so you won't see me, but I'll kind of talk through it. Okay, here's hoping that is a good view for you. So let's see, I'm just gonna put in Easter here. And just so you know, currently my husband is working from home full time, and I do not work outside of the home right now, so we are home every single day. However, on weekdays, we both tend to be working, you know, either my husband for his outside job and me within the home. We are working until the evening, until 6 p.m. So our weekday meals still do need to be on the fairly easy side. And then I try to save a nicer or a slower dinner for Saturdays and Sundays. But let's go ahead and cross off the previous date. So when I'm filming, it is Friday, April 10th. Okay, so next to me, I have my meals. So again, I am going to be meal planning for 3 weeks. So that takes us basically through the end of the month. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to be focusing on doing meals with items like mainly produce, vegetables, and fruit that are gonna go bad faster. I'm going to try to put those towards the front or the beginning of this meal plan. Because if you can see, it kind of starts here and the meal plan's gonna go through here. So that's what we're working with, and that's how I'm gonna plan it out. However, first of all, for Easter, my husband and I are actually going to be doing a taco night. We're both super excited about this. Normally, we're out of town for Easter, but we're going to be home, and we love Mexican, and we both gave up chips for Lent, so I'm pretty excited. We're gonna make some queso and guac so we can have some chips and then do some taco and margaritas. It should be a lot of fun. But I'm gonna go ahead, fill this in, and I'll meet you guys when I'm done. I have my meal plan done, and up in the actual calendar, I wrote down my dinner ideas. And then on the bottom, I just kind of put the different lunch ideas for each week. So for each week, like the first week, let's see, I did sandwiches and salads, and I did this because I know the deli meat's gonna go bad first and the arugula that I got for salads is going to go bad first. We wanna make sure we're eating that the first week. Then for the second week of lunches, I did lasagna and avocado toast. Our avocados are gonna go pretty quickly, so I want to have those pretty soon as well. And we actually got a giant free lasagna from our grocery store. It's part of their Easter special. You spend a certain amount and then you get a free Easter meal. My husband and I aren't really into ham, so he gets a lasagna and he will eat this every day that week for lunches. Now, this is a frozen item, but the reason why we're eating it the second week is because it is taking up a lot of space in my freezer. It's kind of annoying. It's hard to get to things, so I just kind of want it out of here fast. Then the last week, when we're gonna have the least amount of fresh food, now we should still have apples by the last week, and we may still have broccoli by then. Those should definitely last for 3 weeks, and maybe carrots if we don't finish them all. So we're focusing on more things that are shelf stable. So one of those things is I'm going to be making some lentils and rice, so kind of a play on beans and rice. And then also I plan to make some freezer breakfast burritos, so we'll be able to have those towards the end of this meal plan. And then up top, again, these are just kind of ideas and a general time frame of when I want to be eating certain ingredients so we can make sure to eat them before they go bad. And make sure to eat those things that are more shelf stable at the end of this 3-week period. Now, things may change. We may crave different things different days. That's fine as long as we're sure to eat the fresh produce first. That's my biggest concern. But I did pretty much fill everything in. I allotted for leftovers. I have one wild card right here, so we can kind of just maybe try a new recipe. And that is it. That's how I reverse plan. So basically, to review it for you, when I reverse plan, I get the food first and then I plan the meals around it. Now, since we're in a pandemic and trying to go 2.5 to 3 weeks between grocery shopping trips, we need to plan for 3 weeks out. So when we do that, we just have to be a little bit more strategic when we're meal planning and just making sure to eat those things that are gonna go bad more quickly, that we eat those first. And then we save those things that are either frozen or shelf stable towards the end of our meal plan. I hope this information helped you out. I hope it reduces your food waste, helps keep your family happy and fed. And yeah, we're gonna get through this, guys, I promise. All right, that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was helpful for you. Again, if you want to see how I do traditional meal planning or meal planning after a party, go ahead, comment below which one you want to see. And as always, if you follow me on Instagram, I post in my stories many of mine and my husband's meals, so you can get great ideas there. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends. I also forgot to mention, I didn't plan any breakfast in here, just because they're really simple and I don't really have to think about it. Some things we have for breakfast are either like a yogurt parfait thing where it's like yogurt, fruit, and granola, and that's one way we use our fresh fruit up at the beginning, or we'll supplement our meals, like have it alongside our meals. But we'll have like yogurt, we'll have smoothies, and smoothies are a great way to get our fruits and vegetables in at the end of our meal plan, because in 2 to 3 weeks, we'll still have frozen fruits and vegetables that are full of nutrition that we can have in those weeks where we don't have as much fresh produce. And then on the weekend, right now we've been having pancakes pretty much every Saturday. Unfortunately, we are so low on eggs. My husband and I do love a big traditional egg breakfast on weekend mornings, but our store only allows us 1 container of eggs, so we have to use those very sparingly. So again, pancakes is just something we've been doing on the weekends. We also can do things like breakfast burritos. But yeah, just breakfasts are very easy to plan, so I don't write anything out for those.